When my mama lay sick in the hospital bed, my husband didn't come see her. His family stayed away too. Then he sent me a message on my phone. Give me $15,000 for my brother's birthday party and my mother's shopping trip. He thought I would be sad and scared. Instead, I smiled big. I sent him $20. Then I locked all the money he used. Before this story starts, please write down what city you are watching from in the comments. Friends, remember to click like and subscribe so our channel can keep getting bigger and we can share more amazing stories with you every single day. The hospital was very quiet. The big clock on the wall moved very slowly. Its tick-tock sound was soft under the noise of someone cleaning the floors. Maya sat by herself on a hard blue chair. It was right outside a special room where very sick people stay. The hospital smelled like strong cleaning soap. It mixed with the smell of old coffee in a white cup next to her. She had been sitting there for 12 whole hours. Her purple scarf was messy on her head. Her thoughts felt just as messy. Her eyes were puffy and red. They hurt from crying earlier. Her mama, sweet Mama Rose, was fighting hard. Fighting against a terrible sickness in her lungs that came suddenly yesterday morning. Maya closed her eyes tight. She tried to stop seeing the picture in her head of her mama. Her mama looked so pale and weak with plastic tubes everywhere. But the picture kept coming back. She remembered the scary moment yesterday when she found her mama sitting on the bathroom floor. Her mama was holding her chest and couldn't breathe right. Just the two of them lived in that house together. The house where Maya grew up as a little girl. She screamed and called for help on her phone. Her hand shook so much she almost dropped it. She went in the ambulance with her mama. Nobody else was there. She filled out all the hospital papers alone. She listened to the doctor explain how sick her mama was. All by herself. Maya took a big breath. She tried to push down the angry feeling in her throat. She wasn't really alone in the world. She had a husband named Derek. She had people in Derek's family. But where were they now? Her phone felt cold in her hand. Since Mama got put in the special sick room, Maya tried calling Derek many times. The first time Derek answered. He sounded annoyed and bothered. What do you want, Maya? I'm super busy right now. I'm at the park with Marcus planning his birthday decorations. Maya's voice shook when she spoke. Derek, it's Mama. Mama Rose is very sick with her lungs. She's in the hospital right now in the special room. Derek made a loud breathing sound into the phone. Yeah. You handle it for now. I really can't leave Marcus's party planning. This matters a lot. You know how important my brother's 30th birthday is, right? Maya repeated the word in her mind. Important. So her mama's life wasn't important. Her heart felt heavy and sad. But Derek, Mama might die. I really need you here with me. Derek sounded frustrated and angry. Stop being so dramatic, Maya. Your mother will be fine. The hospital knows what to do. Look, I have to go now. I'll call you back later maybe. The phone call ended just like that. Maya didn't stop trying. She called Derek again 1 hour later. He didn't pick up. She sent a text message explaining how serious and scary everything was. Derek saw the message but never wrote back. Feeling desperate, Maya called Derek's mother, Mrs. Gloria. She hoped that since Gloria was a mother too, she would understand. Maybe Gloria would tell Derek to come to the hospital. What she heard made her feel even worse. Maya, Gloria's voice was loud and mean. You are acting like such a baby. We are stressed here dealing with a terrible cake person and you bother us with this. Don't make everything harder. Derek is helping Marcus. His brother is having a big birthday party. As his wife, you should help too. Don't be selfish. Take care of your mother yourself. Blick. Gloria hung up on her. Maya stared at her dark phone screen. Selfish. They said she was selfish for wanting her husband near her when her mama was dying. She was the wife who always did everything for this family. Her salary from working at the big accounting company was much bigger than Derek's money. The house they all lived in was bought by Maya with her own money. The fancy car that Derek and Gloria drove around town every day was paid for by Maya. Every single month, Maya sent thousands of dollars to Gloria's bank account for whatever Gloria wanted. even though Gloria was healthy and could work. Maya was also paying for all of Marcus's huge expensive birthday celebration coming up soon. All this time Maya stayed quiet. She just wanted to be a good wife. A nice daughter-in-law. She thought if she gave them money, they would love her and treat her well. She was so wrong. The night got darker and darker. The hospital hallway got more quiet. It was just Maya and a few other families of sick people sleeping in uncomfortable positions down the hall. Maya felt so cold. Not from the air conditioner but from being so alone. It hurt deep in her bones. She felt really stupid. Years and years of working hard and saving money. And Derek's ungrateful family just wasted it all. And now when she needed help the most, they left her all alone. The pain in her chest felt as bad as the pain her mama must be feeling. Maya believed strongly in doing the right thing. She always tried to be patient and kind. She held back her anger and tried to pray. She tried to forgive them. But her heart was too hurt and broken. She leaned her tired head against the cold white wall. She felt so exhausted. Her body was tired. Her mind was tired. Her heart was tired. She looked at the door to the special sick room again. She prayed quietly in her mind for her mama to stay strong and keep fighting. Suddenly, her phone buzzed in her hand. It wasn't a phone call. Her heart jumped a little. Maybe it was a text from Derek saying he was coming. Maya picked up her phone. The screen glowed bright, showing a notification. It was an alert from her bank app. The message said, "Automatic money transfer complete. $2,000 sent to account named Mrs. Gloria." It was the regular monthly money Maya sent automatically. The money went out exactly on the first day of every month, no matter what was happening. Maya stared at the numbers on her screen. Money she could have used to help pay for her mama's hospital treatment if she needed it. Money that just went into the bank account of a woman who earlier told her, "Don't be selfish." Something inside Maya broke and snapped. Her patience, which had been like a deep well that never ran out, finally hit the bottom. There was nothing left. She didn't cry anymore. Her eyes, which had burned with tears before, now felt cold and hard. She swiped the notification away and stared straight ahead at the special room door. The night was still very long. But Maya knew something had ended forever. Something had changed inside her that could never go back to how it was before. She would never be the same Maya again. 2 whole days went by in a foggy blur. Maya barely left the hospital at all. She only went home real quick to take a shower and put on clean clothes. Then she came right back to sit next to her mama. She slept in the waiting chair. She woke up every single time she heard a nurse's footsteps walking by. Mama Rose's condition stayed the same. Stable, the doctors said, but critical, which meant still very dangerous. Mama Rose still hadn't woken up. The doctor explained the next 2 days would tell them everything. They would know if Mama Rose would get better or worse. Maya spent all her time reading prayers out loud and talking to her mama by the bedside. She hoped her voice could somehow reach through the fog of sleep wrapping her mama. During these 2 days, Maya's phone wouldn't stop buzzing and vibrating. Dozens and dozens of missed phone calls from Derek, from Gloria, and from Marcus. Hundreds of text messages piled up that Maya never read. Maya knew they must be very angry because the extra money transfer hadn't gone through this week. Or maybe Derek was mad because Maya was ignoring him completely. Maya didn't care at all. She turned the phone ringer off. She left only the vibration on. Her focus was one thing only. Her mama getting better and waking up. That morning on the 3rd day, after gently washing her mama's arms and face with warm water, Maya sat down for a moment in the hospital cafeteria downstairs. She forced herself to swallow a plain bagel and drink a cup of hot tea. Her body needed energy and food. She couldn't afford to get sick too. That was when her phone vibrated again on the plastic table. This time it was a very long text message from Derek. Maya's heart jumped just a tiny bit. There was a small foolish hope in her heart. Maybe Derek had finally realized what he did wrong. Maybe it was a sorry message. Maybe he would ask how Mama Rose was doing. With hands shaking a little bit from not sleeping enough, Maya opened the message. It wasn't a sorry at all. It wasn't a question about her mother. It was a list of demands and orders. Maya, where are you? Why won't you answer the phone or reply to messages? You're ignoring my mother on purpose, aren't you? Mrs. Gloria says you're probably mad about what happened the other day. Whatever. Don't act like a child right now. I don't care what excuse you have. My mother says you need to transfer $15,000 to her account quickly. It has to be done today for the deposit on Marcus's new party venue. The first place got cancelled by the owner. The rest of the money is for my mother to go on a vacation trip to Hawaii so she doesn't get stressed planning the party. She needs to relax and rest her mind. The message kept going. Don't be cheap and stingy. That money is for our whole family's future. Marcus's birthday party is at stake here. The family reputation. If it gets cancelled, how will we show our faces to anyone? And my mother really needs this vacation. Poor woman. So transfer the $15,000 right now. It needs to be in her account by tomorrow morning. I'm waiting. Maya read the message one time, then twice, then 3 times. Her tired brain tried to understand the words. Stress, relax, family reputation, vacation to Hawaii. $15,000. Upstairs in this same building, just a few floors above this cafeteria. Her mama was fighting between living and dying. And her husband and his family hadn't asked about it even one single time. They only cared about the party, the money, and the vacation. Suddenly Maya felt something strange happen. A dry, scratchy laugh came out of her mouth. At first very soft and quiet. Then louder and louder. Some people eating in the cafeteria turned around to look at her in a weird way. A woman in a purple scarf laughing alone in a hospital cafeteria. Maya didn't care what they thought. She laughed until tears came out of her eyes. But they weren't sad tears. They were tears of anger that had reached the very top. The anger was so big it turned into laughter. Who did they think she was? A machine that just spits out money. A cow they could milk whenever they wanted. They thought she would obey and transfer that huge amount of money while crying. Too busy with her sick mama to fight back. Maya's laughter stopped suddenly and completely. Her pale, tired face became hard like stone. Her eyes became cold and sharp. Everything became crystal clear to her now. The fog in her head disappeared. It was replaced by a burning hot determination and decision. 4 years and years, she had been patient because she thought it was what a good wife should do. Now she realized it was just stupidity. Pure stupidity. She picked up her phone. The cracked corner of the screen seemed to show what her marriage looked like. Cracked and broken. She remembered the $15,000 they demanded. It was her emergency fund money she kept in her personal investment account. Money she had saved over many years for a terrible emergency situation. And this, Maya thought clearly, was definitely an emergency. An emergency to save herself from these people. With steady fingers that didn't shake anymore, Maya opened her banking app on her phone. She didn't open her investment account where the $15,000 was. She opened her main checking account where the balance was low because she just used most of it for the down payment on her mama's hospital expenses. She pressed the transfer money button. She entered Derek's account number. A number she knew perfectly by heart. Then she typed in the amount. Not $15,000. She typed $20. Her finger stopped for just a moment over the send button. This was it. This was her line she would not cross back over. After pressing this button, there would be no going back ever. She would no longer be the obedient Maya who did everything they said. She would no longer be the stupid Maya who let them use her. She pressed the button hard. Transfer successful. Then she went to the text messaging app. She opened Derek's long demanding message. She scrolled to the reply section and typed a short clear response. This is for you to buy phone minutes. Don't call me again. She hit send. 2 blue check marks appeared. Read. Right away, her phone started ringing violently and loudly. Derek's name appeared on the screen with his photo. Maya looked at the incoming call. She let it ring and ring and ring until it stopped on its own. It rang again immediately. Her mother-in-law Gloria's name appeared this time. She ignored it. Then Marcus started calling. She ignored that too. Maya pressed the silence button hard on the side of her phone. Then she searched through her contacts for her lawyer's information. The family lawyer who had helped with her father's estate after he died. She smiled. A very cold, calculating smile. A big plan began to form and take shape in her mind. A plan to teach them a lesson they would never forget for the rest of their lives. The explosion didn't take long at all. Less than 30 seconds after the message "This is for you to buy" phone minutes was sent, Maya's phone screen lit up like fireworks on a holiday. Incoming call from Derek. Maya looked at her husband's smiling photo on the screen. A smile that now looked so fake and disgusting to her. She let the call ring and ring and ring until it finally died and turned into a missed call notification. 1 minute later, a text message came in. This time it was full of capital letters and anger. "Are you crazy? Are you making fun of me?" Maya didn't reply at all. She was walking back to the waiting room area outside the special sick room. Her steps were strong and firm. Next message. "Transfer the 15,000 now. I'm not joking around, Maya. My mother is going to be furious." Then another phone call came. This time from her mother-in-law Gloria. Maya let it ring without answering. After that, a call from Marcus. She ignored that one too. Her phone vibrated endlessly in her hand like an angry bee. The vibration felt like the buzz of distant rage and fury. But strangely, it didn't scare Maya at all. It actually made her feel stronger and more powerful. Voicemail messages started piling up in her inbox. Maya didn't need to listen to them to know what they said. She could imagine Gloria's high-pitched voice cursing at her, calling her a bad wife, ungrateful, cheap, and stingy. All the mean names Gloria only dared to say behind her back before. She imagined Marcus whining and complaining, probably blaming her if his dream birthday party failed and got ruined. And Derek, yes, her husband, probably panicking now, stuck between the demands of his mother and brother. Now realizing his money source was rebelling and fighting back. Maya sat back down on the cold blue chair outside her mama's room. She opened her photo gallery on her phone. She looked at a picture of her mama smiling big while they ate lunch together 1 month ago. A real sincere smile. So different from the fake sly smiles of her husband's family. All this time Maya had worked so hard. She used her faith to remind herself to always be patient and do good to others. She thought her patience was something good and admirable. But she had forgotten something important. Her faith also taught her not to let people walk all over her and treat her badly. She had forgotten that kindness given to people who misuse it is just stupidity. Her phone vibrated again with another message. New text from Derek. Okay. You're upset about your mom, right? I'm sorry about that. Now send the money first and then I promise I'll come visit your mother. Promise I will. Promise. Such a cheap word that meant nothing. Maya pressed the silence button on the side of her phone again. Not just the ringtone this time. She turned off the vibration too. She needed complete quiet to take the next important step. She couldn't be bothered anymore by the whining and complaining of these parasitic people. She searched for a name in her phone contacts. A name she hadn't called in a very long time. But she always kept it for emergencies just like this. Attorney Hamilton. Mr. Hamilton was an old friend of her late father who died years ago. The lawyer who helped her manage all the money and property her father left her before she married Derek. Maya took her phone to a quieter corner of the hallway, near a big window that looked out at the hospital garden outside. She took a deep breath of air. Then she pressed the call button. "Hello, good morning. Hamilton speaking." A deep, gentle voice answered on the other end. "Good morning, Mr. Hamilton. This is Maya," she said. Her voice sounded calm and flat and cold. Even she was surprised at how calm and controlled she sounded. "My dear child, how are you doing? It's quite rare for you to call so early in the day. I hope everything is well." There was a fatherly, caring tone in Mr. Hamilton's voice. "My news is in the process of becoming well, sir. But right now my mama is in the special hospital room." Maya said it frankly and directly. "I'm very sorry to hear that, Maya. I don't have much time for small talk and pleasantries. I need your legal help right away immediately. Mr. Hamilton's tone became serious instantly. Course, Maya. Tell me exactly what you need. Anything at all, and I'll make it happen. I want you to freeze and lock all the shared bank accounts in my name and my husband Derek's name, Maya said firmly. Done, said Hamilton without any pause or hesitation. Joint accounts. Understood. That can be arranged very quickly. Most of the money and assets are in your name only, correct? Not most, sir. All of it. Derek never put a single penny in there. Ever. I understand completely, said Mr. Hamilton. Second thing, Maya continued. Her eyes were fixed on the peaceful garden outside the window. I want you to stop and cancel all automatic or standing transfer instructions from all my personal accounts. Especially transfers to accounts in Derek's name, Mrs. Gloria's name, and Marcus's name. Derek's brother. I want them all stopped as of this very moment right now. Easy. I'll process it immediately. Maya took a breath. This next part is the most important. Third, please verify and confirm that the house Derek and I live in now on Maple Street. It is 100% in my name only, correct? Pure inheritance from my father. Not marital property that Derek has any claim to. Pause was heard on the phone. Maybe Mr. Hamilton was checking data on his computer. 100% correct, Maya. The deed is purely in the name of Maya, daughter of Robert. Obtained before the marriage ever happened. Your partner has absolutely no right to a single dollar from that house whatsoever. Perfect, Maya said quietly but firmly. I want you to handle the sale of that house immediately. Starting today, right now. Put up the listing. Contact the real estate agents. I want that house sold as fast as possible. This time, Mr. Hamilton stayed silent for a longer moment. Maya, this is a very big serious step. Are you absolutely certain about this? I am 100% sure, sir, Maya interrupted him. I am very, very sure. I have sheltered a family of leeches and parasites for far too long in the house my father left me. It's time to clean house and get rid of them. Maya couldn't see it through the phone. But in his elegant office downtown, Mr. Hamilton smiled slightly. A smile of satisfaction and approval. He had known Maya for a very long time. He knew how good and kind this girl was. And he had also suspected for a long time how she was being used and taken advantage of by her husband's awful family. I have been waiting for this instruction for a long time, Miss Maya, Mr. Hamilton said. His tone returned to professional and businesslike, but with a hint of support behind it. I suspected this day would eventually come. Your father would be very proud that you're finally taking a stand for yourself. Is there anything else you need? Maya went blank and quiet for a moment. Anything else? Yes, there was something else. The car my husband drives every day and the car Mrs. Gloria uses. Whose name is on the title for my mother-in-law's car? Who pays the monthly payments? Maya smiled. Very cold, icy smile. You're absolutely right. Those are also in my name. The payments are deducted automatically from my account every single month. Excellent, said Mr. Hamilton. I will call the leasing company immediately. With a suspension of automatic payment and a power of attorney signed by you, both cars can be legally repossessed by the repo company in 2 days maximum. Do it, sir, Maya said firmly. Do it all. Every single thing. I'll send you the power of attorney document to your email address to sign digitally right away. You'll have it within 5 minutes, said Mr. Hamilton. You take care of your dear mother, Maya. Let me handle this garbage for you. The call ended. Maya felt her shoulders, which had been tense and tight for years and years, finally relax a little bit. She walked back to the waiting room area. She looked at her phone. The screen was completely full of notifications. Dozens and dozens of unread messages. Dozens and dozens of missed phone calls. They must be so confused right now. So angry and panicked. But they didn't know anything yet. They had no idea what was coming. This was just the very beginning. She remembered Derek's demanding message. $15,000 for a vacation trip. Maya laughed softly to herself. Yes, she did have $15,000 in her investment account. The emergency fund she had saved. And she had a much better plan for that money. A plan that would teach them the biggest lesson of their lives. The $15,000 was Maya's safety net. It was the result of her hard work. Drops of sweat and blood. Countless overtime hours at the office. She kept it in a separate investment account all by itself. She never ever touched it. She always told herself, it's for an emergency. For unexpected hospital bills. For a disaster. She never expected the disaster would come in the form of her own family's terrible greed and selfishness. And now Derek's shameless brazen request felt like a hard slap across her face that finally woke her up from a deep sleep. This was an emergency, all right. An emergency to save her sanity, her dignity, her self-respect, and her future. After speaking with Mr. Hamilton on the phone, Maya felt her focus sharpen and become clear again. She no longer felt like a trapped, cornered victim with no way out. She was now a chess player who had just moved her most powerful piece into an attacking position on the board. She sat back down next to her mama's hospital bed. Mama Rose was still sleeping deeply under the influence of strong medicines. Her breathing was steady and regular, helped by a machine. Holding her mama's hand, warm but very weak, Maya felt strength flowing into her own body. She picked up her phone. Not to check the flood of insults and curses from Derek's family, but to do a little research and investigation. She needed to be absolutely certain about something. She opened her chat history with Marcus, Derek's brother. She scrolled up past dozens and dozens of photos of party decorations and expensive food Marcus had sent to ask for approval. Or rather, to ask for budget approval from her wallet. Finally she found it. A PDF file with a proposal from a well-known party planning company called Golden Events. There was also the contact phone number of the person in charge. Maya took a deep breath and called that number. Good morning, Golden Events. This is Jennifer speaking. A cheerful, happy voice answered the phone. Good morning, Jennifer. This is Maya. I'm Marcus's sister-in-law. The one who has been handling and paying for the party payment so far. The cheerfulness in Jennifer's voice faded away a little. It was replaced by a professional and cautious tone. Miss Maya. Finally you call us. I've been trying to contact Marcus and Mrs. Gloria since yesterday, but they won't answer their phones. I'm so sorry, ma'am, but this is very urgent and important. Urgent? Why? What's wrong? Maya asked, pretending she didn't know anything. Well, you see, ma'am. The deposit payment for the venue and the catering was due yesterday. The full amount is $15,000 exactly. We gave them a deadline extension until today at noon 12 o'clock. But if the payment doesn't come through by then, unfortunately the venue and all the catering for that date will be released and given to another client who is on our waiting list. This is already affecting our reputation with our vendors and suppliers very badly. Exactly $15,000. The exact same number Derek demanded. They were in total panic demanding the money from her because they were cornered by this deadline. I understand completely, Jennifer, Maya said in a very calm voice. Thank you so much for this information. You've been very helpful. So is the money transfer coming in today, ma'am? I'll wait until noon, Jennifer urged hopefully. I'll handle it appropriately, Maya replied in a vague way that could mean anything. But please don't tell Marcus or Mrs. Gloria that I called you. Let this be between us. This is my business to handle. Maya hung up the phone. So the $15,000 was the lifeline they were trying to stick on her to cover their debts and obligations. She could just leave it. Just let Marcus's birthday party get cancelled. Let the venue be lost. Let them all be embarrassed and humiliated in front of everyone. But that felt too easy and simple. It would only give them temporary shame that would fade away. She wanted to teach them a lesson they would never ever forget for the rest of their entire lives. A lesson about what really matters. About real priorities. She remembered something important. She opened her laptop computer that she always carried in her work bag. She opened an old folder of emails. There was an email conversation with her mama from about 1 year ago. Her mama had sent her a link to a website. Maya, look at this, her mama had written in the email. The Bright Hope Children's Foundation. They help pay medical bills for children with cancer from poor families who can't afford treatment. How beautiful and noble. If I ever have extra money left over, I would love to help them. Those children's prayers must be so powerful and reach straight to heaven. Her mama never had extra money. Because every bit of money, every dollar her mama should have received, every bit of gift money Maya wanted to give her mama, was always diverted and stolen away into the apparently bottomless pockets of Mrs. Gloria and Derek and Marcus. Maya's eyes felt hot with tears forming. Her mama, even in her simple humble life, thought about helping other people, while her mother-in-law Gloria, living in luxury and comfort, only thought about herself and her own pleasure. Maya opened the foundation's website on her computer. The donation page was very clear and simple. There were photos of small children with bald heads from treatment, but they had brave, beautiful smiles on their faces. Maya's heart was deeply moved and touched. This was it. This was the perfect answer to her prayers. This was the absolute best way to use that $15,000. She didn't hesitate for even 1 second. She opened her banking app on her phone. She accessed her investment account. She made a withdrawal from the emergency fund. The process was instant and immediate. Then she went back to the donation page on the foundation website. She entered the amount carefully. $15,000. In the donor name section, she didn't write her own name. She typed with steady, confident fingers, "Donation in the name of the healing and recovery of Mama Rose." She wanted every single prayer raised up from that foundation, from those brave children, to flow directly to her mama lying in that hospital bed. She clicked the Confirm Transfer button. Transaction successful. An email with the official transfer receipt entered her inbox right away. Maya took a screenshot picture of the receipt. A simple image containing the bank logo, the transfer amount of $15,000, and the recipient's name, Bright Hope Children's Foundation. This was her weapon. Not a bomb that explodes with violence, but a surgical scalpel that would cut right into the heart of their greed and arrogance. She opened the family group chat on her phone. She ignored the dozens and dozens of furious private messages that kept coming in. She went directly to Derek's family group. The group chat containing all of Derek's arrogant aunts and uncles and cousins. The group where Mrs. Gloria always bragged constantly about how successful Derek was and how generous and wonderful her daughter-in-law Maya was. The same group where the plans for Marcus's huge expensive birthday party were discussed and talked about every single day. Maya took a deep breath. She didn't write a single word of explanation. No curse words back at them. She simply selected the screenshot of the $15,000 donation receipt. Then she pressed the send button to the group. Message sent. One gray checkmark appeared. Then within just seconds it turned into 2 blue checkmarks. Read. Someone must be online right now in that group. Maybe Mrs. Gloria herself or Marcus, who were sitting around panicking and waiting desperately for news of Maya's money transfer. They must have opened the message thinking it was proof of payment for their party planner. Maya could perfectly imagine their confusion and shock. They asked for $15,000 for a party and a vacation trip. Instead they got a receipt showing $15,000 donated to sick children. Maya put her phone on the table face down. She turned off her mobile data completely. Enough for today. That was enough. She went back to holding her mama's weak hand gently. "Mama," she whispered softly close to her mama's ear. "Maya donated money in your name just like you always wanted. Please get well soon. Get strong. The children are praying for you right now." She felt so peaceful inside. Very, very peaceful. She didn't know and didn't care that out there in that group chat, a time bomb had just exploded silently. The next morning came. The sun shone brightly in the sky, as if it was laughing and mocking the chaos that was about to happen. In an elegant fancy clothing boutique store downtown, Mrs. Gloria and Marcus were in very high spirits and good moods. They had already forgotten the annoyance and irritation from 2 days ago. The $20 message and Maya's cold response were just considered a tantrum from a stressed, emotional wife. They were absolutely certain that under pressure and the threat of family reputation, Maya would cave in and give up. The $15,000 must have arrived in Mrs. Gloria's bank account that morning. They were sure of it. "Look, Mother, this jacket," Marcus said, spinning around in front of a huge mirror. He was wearing a shimmering designer jacket that alone cost thousands of dollars. Everyone at my party is going to be so jealous and impressed. Of course, honey, replied Mrs. Gloria. She was sipping fancy bottled water the boutique staff had served her. She looked at her expensive watch. 9:30 in the morning. She had already planned out her whole day perfectly. After paying the party venue deposit, she would immediately transfer the remaining $3,000 to the travel agency for her luxury vacation to Hawaii. She couldn't wait. All right, Marcus, Mrs. Gloria, said the boutique owner, smiling professionally. The jacket fits perfectly. So we're finalizing this purchase, correct? According to our agreement, we need a 50% payment today to start the custom alterations. Sure, no problem, said Mrs. Gloria arrogantly and confidently. She pulled out her shiny platinum credit card from her expensive purse. Please process the payment. Meanwhile, in a different location, in his air-conditioned office across town, Derek sat at his desk. He wasn't focused on his computer screen at all. He was restless and anxious. He hadn't managed to contact Maya in 2 whole days. Her phone wasn't active and working. Derek tried to calm himself down and relax. Maya was just being emotional and dramatic. But Maya had never been like this before. Ever. However, his worry was overcome by his faith and trust in his mother. His mother always said Maya was crazy in love with him. There was absolutely no way Maya would dare do anything serious. The money must have been transferred already. He just needed to wait patiently for news from his mother. Back at the fancy boutique store, the store attendant returned to Mrs. Gloria. She had a slightly hesitant and uncomfortable expression on her face. I'm very sorry, ma'am, but the card was declined. It won't process. Mrs. Gloria's confident smile froze on her face. Declined. That's impossible. Try it again. Your machine must be broken or faulty. The attendant tried swiping the card again. Declined again, ma'am. It says insufficient funds in the account. Mrs. Gloria's face turned bright red with embarrassment. Insufficient funds. This card has a limit of tens of thousands of dollars. And I know Maya pays the bill always on time every month. This is impossible. Give it here to me. She snapped rudely. She tried a different card. Her debit card this time. Insufficient funds, ma'am. Cold sweat began to appear on Mrs. Gloria's forehead and upper lip. Something was very wrong. She rushed to call Derek on her phone. Derek, she said urgently into the phone. My cards are being declined. Both of them. Check my account right now this instant. Did Maya's money come in? Derek, hearing the panic and fear in his mother's tone, also started to panic. Wait, Mama. Hold on. He rushed to open his mobile banking app on his phone. First he checked his own personal account. He completely froze in shock. His balance was only $42.30. Maya should have transferred his monthly allowance of $1,000 yesterday. It hadn't come in. Then he tried to check his mother's account, which was also linked to his phone for monitoring. He entered the security PIN code. The screen lit up brightly. Balance. $15.20. The $15,000 wasn't there at all. The monthly $2,000 that usually came in automatically on the first day wasn't there either. The account was completely dry and empty. Derek, what's going on? Yelled Mrs. Gloria into the phone so loudly that several other customers in the boutique turned around to stare. There's nothing, Mama, Derek replied. His voice trembled and shook with fear. Nothing came in at all. Not a single penny. What do you mean nothing? Shrieked Mrs. Gloria. That girl. Wife. She actually stopped everything. How dare she do this to us? In his office, Derek felt the air-conditioned room suddenly become burning hot. His heart pounded hard in his chest. This wasn't just anger he was feeling. This was a complete disaster. He tried calling Maya again desperately. The number you have dialed is not in service. He tried messaging her on WhatsApp. 1 gray checkmark. No delivery. He was blocked. No, maybe she just turned off her mobile data. He tried again and again. But the result was always the same. Maya had completely vanished and disappeared. At the boutique store, the atmosphere turned humiliating and terrible. "I'm very sorry, Mrs. Gloria," said the boutique owner. Her voice was now cold and flat and unwelcoming. "If the payment cannot be completed today, we simply cannot continue with your order." Marcus, still wearing the designer jacket worth thousands, began to cry like a baby. "Mama, what are we going to do? This is so embarrassing. Everyone's going to laugh at me. My party is going to be cancelled." "Shut your mouth," snapped Mrs. Gloria. She was becoming hysterical. She had to get that money somehow. She called Derek back immediately. "Call your wife right now. Drag her here by force if you have to. Tell her to transfer the money now or you'll divorce her." The word divorce echoed and rang in Derek's ears like a bell. He panicked even more. He couldn't divorce Maya. Divorcing Maya meant divorcing his only money source. His golden goose. He had to fix this situation somehow. Just at that exact moment, Marcus's phone rang loudly and shrilly. On the screen appeared the name Jennifer from Golden Events. Marcus's face went completely pale white like a ghost. This must be about the $15,000 deposit payment for the venue. "Hello, Jennifer," he answered with a trembling, shaking voice. Jennifer's voice on the other end was no longer cheerful or friendly. Her voice was firm, professional, cold, and uncompromising. "Good afternoon, Marcus. It is now 12:05 in the afternoon. I am calling to confirm that the payment of the $15,000 deposit has not been received by our company." "Yes, I'm so sorry, Jennifer. It's just that there's a small problem and—" Jennifer interrupted him sharply. "It's not necessary to explain, Marcus. I'm calling only to inform you officially. According to our signed agreement, since the payment deadline has now expired, the venue reservation, all catering, and all vendors under your name for that date are now officially cancelled." "Completely cancelled. Cancelled." Marcus shrieked like a wounded animal. His eyes widened with horror and disbelief. "That is correct," continued Jennifer. Her voice sounded like a judge's gavel pounding. "And one more thing I must inform you. We just received a phone call from Miss Maya's legal representative, Mr. Hamilton. He has officially informed us that Miss Maya withdraws all her financial backing and support for this event. So everything is now crystal clear." Marcus couldn't breathe properly. Jennifer continued speaking. "Oh yes, one more thing. The venue for your date has already been taken and booked by another client on our waiting list. They just paid the full amount in cash 5 minutes ago. Good afternoon, Marcus." The phone fell from Marcus's trembling hand. It landed on the thick soft carpet of the boutique without making a sound. But for Mrs. Gloria and Marcus, that silent fall sounded like a nuclear bomb explosion, destroying absolutely everything they had planned. "The party is cancelled." Marcus's scream was the first thing to break the awful, embarrassing silence in the boutique. Not a soft cry, but a sharp, piercing shriek full of rage and complete shame. "Cancelled. Everything cancelled. All because of Maya. That ungrateful witch." Mrs. Gloria, whose face was already a dark, angry red color, staggered backward. She grabbed onto the checkout counter to keep from falling down onto the floor. "What do you mean cancelled?" she hissed through clenched teeth. Marcus, with tears completely ruining his expensive makeup and grooming, shouted at his mother hysterically. "They just called me. Everything is cancelled completely. Maya's lawyer called them directly. She withdrew all her money. All of it. We are completely ruined, Mama. Totally ruined." The boutique attendants and some other wealthy clients who were browsing and choosing fabrics were now all looking at them with a mixture of surprise, shock, and amusement. This dramatic scene was too entertaining to miss. The boutique owner signaled with her hand to the security guard standing by the door. "I'm sorry, Mrs. Gloria and Marcus," she said with an ice-cold tone. "I think your business here is completely finished. Please change out of those clothes immediately, Marcus, and solve your serious problems somewhere else outside. Not in my store." Kicked out. They were literally being kicked out of the boutique like trash. This was the absolute height of humiliation for Mrs. Gloria. a socialite who had always felt like a queen wherever she went. With heavy, embarrassed steps, Marcus went into the fitting room and slammed the door hard. Mrs. Gloria trembled all over with anger, shame, and total panic all mixed together. While the drama in the boutique was just beginning to unfold, another drama was happening in the digital online world at the exact same time. The Bright Hope Children's Foundation, the organization Maya had donated to, had a strict transparency policy. They posted publicly about all large donations they received. Exactly at 11:30 that morning, their official social media account, which had tens of thousands of followers, posted a brand new update. It wasn't a simple thank you note. It was a beautifully designed digital poster with images of several smiling children with cancer, with large bold letters in the middle. New hope has arrived. Prayer answered. A blessing received. Below the text it read, "The entire family of the Bright Hope Children's Foundation wishes to express our immense gratitude for the extraordinary donation we received today. A total of $15,000 has been generously donated by a noble faithful woman who dedicated this donation to the healing recovery of her mother. Thanks to the anonymous donor in the name of the recovery of Mama Rose. This donation will completely cover chemotherapy treatment and living expenses for 10 of our little brave fighters against cancer for the next 6 months. All of us here, along with all the children, pray that Mama Rose is healed completely and soon from her illness and granted total health and strength. Amen." The post exploded and blew up immediately on social media. Hundreds of likes and thousands of comments flooded in within just minutes. So many people said amen to the prayer. So many people praised the generosity. And of course, the post appeared on the social media feed of Mrs. Gloria's socialite friends. They all followed each other on social media. And they also followed several accounts of large charity foundations to maintain their public image and reputation. At the exact same time, Derek's family WhatsApp group chat, which had been mostly silent after Maya's donation screenshot, suddenly vibrated again with activity. Derek's aunt was the first person to notice the foundation post. She immediately forwarded it to the family group. "Oh my goodness, how incredibly noble and generous," wrote the aunt. "Is this Maya's Mama Rose who was so sick?" Another cousin of Derek commented quickly, "Wow, $15,000. Exactly the same amount that was in Maya's screenshot yesterday. So she really did donate it to charity." Derek's uncle commented next, "Your daughter-in-law is absolutely amazing, Gloria. Just when her husband asks for money for a party, she chooses charity in her sick mother's name instead. A truly devoted and faithful wife without any doubt." Mrs. Gloria's phone, which she had just turned back on after leaving the boutique in complete shame, was suddenly flooded and overwhelmed by these notifications. She opened the WhatsApp family group with shaking hands. Her eyes widened as big as plates as she read the incoming comments. The praise for Maya felt like hot burning slaps of fire directly on her face. Then private direct messages started arriving from her friends at the exclusive social club. "Gloria, I saw the foundation's post online. $15,000. Hats off to your daughter-in-law. She's incredible. Hey, but I heard from some people at the boutique that Marcus's birthday party was cancelled today. How is that even possible? You didn't have the money, but Maya used it for charity. What's the real story here, Gloria?" Another message came in quickly. "Mrs. Gloria, is it actually true that Marcus's party got cancelled because you didn't pay the event planner? But how come your daughter-in-law donated $15,000? What's going on with your family?" Their complete ruin and humiliation had become public entertainment and gossip. Not only did they not get the money they demanded, not only did they lose the dream birthday party, now in the eyes of the entire public and all their social circles, they looked exactly like a greedy, selfish family trying to squeeze and drain their pious, devoted daughter-in-law while her mother was literally dying in the hospital. And they had failed miserably in the most public way possible. Mrs. Gloria's carefully built image and reputation, constructed over many years as a respected socialite, was completely shattered and destroyed in a single afternoon. Derek in his office also saw the foundation post. He was tagged and mentioned by several co-workers. "Oh, Derek, your wife Maya donated $15,000. What an absolute boss move and power play. Congratulations, man. Hope your mother-in-law gets well real soon. Derek couldn't answer or respond. He felt physically nauseous and sick to his stomach. He looked like a complete fool. The anger, shame, and panic were now reaching their absolute peak and maximum level. Mrs. Gloria, Marcus, and Derek met up in the parking lot behind the boutique. All three faces were dark, somber, and full of pure hatred. "This cannot stay like this," hissed Mrs. Gloria. Her eyes were bloodshot red with rage. "That girl has humiliated us in front of everyone. We have to go see her right now. We have to make her pay dearly for all this." "It's true," nodded Derek firmly. His ego as a husband and a man was completely shattered into pieces. He no longer cared about the money anymore. He cared about his dignity and reputation, which had been trampled into the dirt. "Let's go to the hospital right now this instant. We will force her to fix everything." "I'm definitely going," yelled Marcus. "I'm going to rip that scarf right off her head." With completely blind rage and fury, the three of them got into Derek's car. The car whose monthly payments Maya had been paying. They drove at dangerously full speed toward the hospital. They didn't know and couldn't imagine that this would be their very last trip in that car. They would never drive it again. They arrived at the hospital lobby like an angry, violent storm, walking fast and aggressive, completely angry and totally indifferent to people's shocked stares. They went straight to the reception desk at the front. "We want to see Maya immediately." "What room is her mother in?" snapped Derek rudely to the receptionist. The young receptionist was visibly startled. "Excuse me, sir. I need the patient's name, please." "Rose." "Mama Rose," said Mrs. Gloria impatiently and annoyed. The receptionist typed quickly on her computer. Then she looked up. Her expression turned very professional and serious. "I'm very sorry, ma'am and sir. The patient named Mama Rose is currently in the special ICU unit." "But we're going to the ICU right now," interrupted Derek aggressively. He started walking straight toward the elevator without permission. "Wait, sir. Please stop." Two large burly hospital security guards suddenly stepped directly in front of them, completely blocking their path forward. "What is this? What's going on?" asked Derek. His tone was rising with anger. The taller security guard looked at them very calmly but extremely firmly. "Excuse me, sir and ma'am. By special direct request of Miss Maya, the person responsible for the patient, we have received very clear instructions. Mr. Derek, Mrs. Gloria, and Marcus are specifically and explicitly prohibited from visiting the patient or meeting with Miss Maya anywhere in all areas of this hospital." The denial felt like a solid concrete wall that appeared suddenly right in front of them. Derek, Mrs. Gloria, and Marcus stood completely paralyzed and frozen in the hospital lobby, which suddenly felt very, very crowded. The stares of some visitors and curious nurses were stabbing into them like knives. The two burly guards stood perfectly still. Their faces were professional and neutral, but they left absolutely no room for negotiation or argument. "You can't do this to us." Derek stepped forward aggressively. He tried to use the remnants of his authority. "I am her husband. Maya is my wife. Have rights here." The taller guard tilted his head slightly to the side. "I'm very sorry, sir. But your rights as a husband do not override the instructions of the patient's legal guardian. Miss Maya specifically mentioned your name, this lady's name, and this young man's name," he said, pointing to them one by one very deliberately. "The order from her is extremely clear. Unwanted guests with potential to disturb the patient's peace and recovery." Every single word felt like a hard slap across their faces. "Disturb the peace," hissed Mrs. Gloria, her red face barely containing her explosive rage. "We are her family. She is the one causing all the chaos and problems." The second security guard intervened. His voice was lower but much more threatening. "I strongly suggest that the lady and the gentleman leave the lobby immediately right now. If you cause any disturbance or scene here, we will be forced to call internal security and possibly the police." Mrs. Gloria's dignity and reputation, which was already completely shattered, was now being trampled into dust. "Kicked out of the fancy boutique." And now kicked out of the hospital too. Marcus, who had been standing motionless and silent, began to sob and cry. Enough, Mama. Let's just go. This is too humiliating, he whispered, pulling hard on his mother's expensive sleeve. Derek stared intensely toward the ICU elevator, as if his angry gaze could somehow pierce through the floors and walls and find Maya. There was pure hatred in his eyes, but also fear, real fear. He had just realized in that moment how truly powerful Maya actually was. How completely dependent he was on the woman he had underestimated and taken for granted all this time. With heavy, humiliated steps full of shame, the three of them turned around slowly. They walked out of the cool air-conditioned lobby back into the burning heat of the parking lot outside. The drive back in the car, Maya's car that she paid for, felt completely silent and suffocating. No one spoke a single word. Mrs. Gloria looked out the window with a blank, empty stare. Her jaw was clenched tight. Marcus sobbed hysterically in the back seat like a child. Derek gripped the steering wheel so incredibly hard that his knuckles turned pure white. They only had one destination in mind. Back home to Maple Street. They had to talk and plan. They had to strategize. They had to think of some way to persuade, threaten, or force Maya to return everything back to normal. To make everything go back to the way it was. When the car turned into their luxury residential neighborhood complex, Derek began to feel just a little bit calm and relieved. The house was his fortress and castle. There he was king and master. But that small tranquility and relief was shattered immediately and completely. When the car approached their large house, Derek suddenly slammed hard on the brakes. The car screeched to a stop. There was an unfamiliar black sedan parked directly in front of their house door. And two men in formal business suits were standing in front of their decorative iron gate. One of them was sticking something very big and white on their front gate. "Who are those people?" hissed Mrs. Gloria. Her confusion turned immediately into high alert. Derek didn't answer at all. He got out of the car quickly, followed closely by Mrs. Gloria and Marcus. They approached the gate. The man in the suit turned around to face them. "Excuse me, whose house is this?" asked Derek with an aggressive, threatening tone. He was trying to intimidate them. The man looked at Derek very calmly. Then he looked down at the clipboard in his hand. "Are you Mr. Derek?" "Yes, that's me." "What's happening here?" "Good," said the man. "We are from the law firm Hamilton and Associates. This," he held up a thick brown envelope, "is a formal legal warning letter for you, Mrs. Gloria and Marcus. And this," he pointed to the large paper he had just stuck and taped on their gate, "is an official public notice." Derek tore open the envelope roughly and violently. His hands shook as he read the contents inside. The letter was written in rigid, formal legal language. But the main point was crystal clear. The house at 47 Maple Street is the absolute exclusive property of Miss Maya. Mr. Derek, Mrs. Gloria, and Marcus no longer have any permission to occupy said property. This property has been officially registered for sale through a real estate agent. You are given a period of exactly 14 days from the date of this letter to completely vacate the house and return all keys. Any attempt to damage the property or refusal to vacate will be prosecuted criminally to the fullest extent of the law. Derek read the last sentence over and over again. "Vacate the house. 14 days only." "This is my house," shouted Derek. His voice cracked. "Impossible. This is my house. I am her husband." "I'm very sorry, sir," said the man completely unmoved. "The property deed is in Miss Maya's name exclusively. Obtained prior to marriage. It is her exclusive property. We are only doing our legal duty." Next to him, Mrs. Gloria was reading the large bold letters on the paper stuck to their gate. The text was printed in huge bold capital letters. "This property is for sale under legal supervision. No trespassing allowed." With Mr. Hamilton's office phone number printed below. "No, this can't be real. This can't be happening." Mrs. Gloria staggered backward. She grabbed onto the iron pillar of the gate to keep from collapsing. Neighbors walking their dogs in the evening were beginning to look and stare. Some even stopped walking completely and whispered to each other. "Maya!" screamed Mrs. Gloria at the top of her lungs. She was losing all control. "Maya is insane. She's crazy. She's kicking us out of our own home." Derek was still completely paralyzed by the warning letter in his shaking hands. His brain simply couldn't process this new reality. He had just lost his home, his house. That was when a very loud diesel engine noise was heard approaching from the end of the street. A large bright yellow tow truck slowed down. It stopped right directly behind Derek's parked car. Behind the tow truck, 2 motorcycles ridden by men in black leather jackets also stopped. Repo men. A man with a very hard weathered face got out of the tow truck. He walked directly toward Derek with purpose. "Excuse me, sir. Is this the silver SUV with license plate number?" He read the numbers out loud. Derek, still completely confused and in shock, just nodded weakly. The repo man showed him an official repossession order document. "We are from the auto leasing company. The owner has unilaterally stopped all payment of monthly notes in the name of Miss Maya for this unit. According to the legal contract, we have been ordered to seize and repossess this vehicle unit. Please hand over the keys immediately, sir." Derek looked at the official letter, then at his car, then at the hard-faced man. He suddenly realized with horror. Course, his car. The car he always took so much pride in showing off to all his friends. The car he used to drive his mother shopping every week. It wasn't his either. It was Maya's car. Maya bought it. Maya paid for it. "Wait please," said Derek in complete panic. "This is just a misunderstanding. I will pay everything." "I'm very sorry, sir," said the repo man. "The order is to seize the unit, not to collect payment. Do you have the keys or not? This is my car." "Get away from here," shouted Derek desperately. The repo man signaled with his hand to his 2 large friends on the motorcycles. They got off their bikes. Very large and burly men. The atmosphere became extremely tense. "Are you going to hand them over the easy way, sir? Or will we have to take them by force?" said the repo man with a completely flat, emotionless tone. Marcus screamed in fear and panic. Mrs. Gloria stood completely mute. Her face was pale white as a corpse. Derek trembled all over his body. He looked left at the man from the law firm still standing there. He looked right at the repo men closing in. In front of him on his own gate was a huge for sale sign. They were completely cornered. They had totally and utterly lost everything. With trembling, shaking hands, Derek rummaged desperately in his pocket. He threw the car keys hard on the ground. "Take them," he hissed. His voice broke completely from rage and shame. The repo man picked up the keys calmly. "Thank you for your cooperation, sir." He got in the car, started the engine, and drove it smoothly up onto the tow truck platform. The man from the law firm nodded professionally. "Our work here is done. Good afternoon." He got into his black sedan and drove away. The tow truck started its loud engine and drove away slowly down the street, taking Derek's car away forever. Derek, Mrs. Gloria, and Marcus now stood on the side of the street, right in front of the house that was no longer theirs. Without a car, without money, and worst of all, with dozens and dozens of pairs of eyes from all the neighbors watching their complete afternoon drama and downfall. They had lost absolutely everything in less than 3 hours. The sun began to set slowly. It projected a beautiful golden-orange color across the sky. But for Derek, Mrs. Gloria, and Marcus, that beautiful light felt like cruel mockery. They were still standing on the sidewalk in front of the house that now felt completely foreign to them. The gate was locked tight, and the for sale sign seemed to laugh and mock them. Some neighbors who had previously only whispered quietly now dared to come outside, pretending to water their plants or clean their cars, when clearly they were just watching the drama unfold. "Get inside the house," hissed Derek. He pushed hard on the gate, but it wouldn't open. It was locked. Course it was. He suddenly remembered. Maya must have told Mr. Hamilton to change all the locks, or activate the digital smart lock that only Maya's fingerprint could access. So what do we do now? yelled Marcus hysterically. Are we going to sleep on the street like homeless people? Derek, do something. You are her husband. Shut up, snapped Derek. He was venting all his frustration and rage. Do you think any of this is easy? Mrs. Gloria, who had been mute and silent until now, began to move. Her pale face was now full of a cold, calculating rage. We can't stay here on this street. It's too humiliating, she said in a low, dangerous voice. Let's go somewhere else. Go where? Asked Derek, confused and lost. Have no car. We have no money at all. Call people, said Mrs. Gloria firmly. Call relatives. Call Aunt Linda. Call your uncle. Ask them to come pick us up right now. Derek hesitated. Since he had successfully married Maya and her money, he and his family had kept their distance from the other relatives. Mrs. Gloria always felt superior to them. But now he had absolutely no choice. He took out his phone. He opened his contacts. He called his uncle. The call was answered quickly. Hello, Derek. Hello, uncle. Sorry to bother you. Could you please? Oh yes, Derek. I was about to send you a message. His uncle interrupted him. I saw the Foundation's post online. That is absolutely wild and amazing. Your wife Maya is incredible. $15,000. She donated it in her mother's name. And I heard in the family group they needed money for Marcus's birthday party. Maya is truly a devoted, faithful wife. She prioritizes her mother and charity. You're very lucky, nephew. Congratulations. Derek stood silent. The news had spread faster than wildfire. His uncle was congratulating him. But it felt like a punch to the gut. Derek. Hello. Why are you so quiet? Yes, uncle. Look, we're having a small problem. We're kind of stranded. Could you please? Oh, I'm so sorry, Derek. His uncle interrupted again. I'm out of town on business right now. Another time. Send my warmest regards to Maya. Tell her I am very proud of her. She's a good woman. Blick. The call ended abruptly. Derek tried calling Aunt Linda next. The response was exactly the same. Wow, Derek, I'm very busy right now. I'm at the social club. You and Maya are the topic of conversation for everyone here. Your wife is amazing. Beautiful, rich, successful, and devout. You better take good care of her. Got to go. No one wanted to help them. The news of the $15,000 donation had turned Maya into an angel in the eyes of the extended family, and indirectly turned them, Derek, Mrs. Gloria, and Marcus, into the greedy, selfish antagonists of the story. Who would want to help parasites who had just been humiliated by their host? Marcus, seeing the complete despair on his brother's face, suddenly had another idea. Brandon, his fiancé. Course, Brandon would help him. He was his Prince Charming. With trembling hands, Marcus called Brandon on his phone. Hello, baby. Where are you? Please help me, he said, crying into the phone. I've been kicked out of my house by my sister-in-law Maya. The party. I know. Brandon's voice on the other end sounded ice cold. Very, very cold. I already heard everything, Marcus. My mother just received a phone call from the venue. They are charging us a cancellation penalty fee of $5,000 because we signed the contract as second responsible parties. Marcus froze in shock. What? But that's my sister-in-law Maya's fault and business. Your sister-in-law Maya has washed her hands clean of it. Her lawyer said she isn't responsible for any of your debts. And now my family's honor and reputation is at stake. My mother told me to find you. Send me your location right now. It wasn't the tone of love and affection Marcus expected. It was a tone full of anger and accusation. But Marcus, in his panic, still had hope. Yes, baby. Sending it fast. The three of them waited at the empty security booth of their residential complex. 30 long minutes later, a luxury sedan pulled up. It wasn't just Brandon alone. Brandon got out with his mother. A stiff-looking woman wearing flashy, expensive jewelry. Marcus, said Brandon's mother very bluntly. I want to talk with you and your family. They stood on the sidewalk in the fading light. Brandon's mother looked at Mrs. Gloria with pure disdain and disgust. So this is you, Mrs. Gloria. The family that calls themselves respectable and high class turns out to live completely off their daughter-in-law's money. Watch your mouth, hissed Mrs. Gloria, though her voice was weak and powerless. I don't have to watch anything, snapped Brandon's mother. You have humiliated my entire family. You ordered a lavish, expensive party without having any money. And now they are chasing us for a cancellation penalty of $5,000. Marcus looked at Brandon pleadingly. Brandon, please, baby. Brandon looked away. He didn't dare look at Marcus directly. I'm sorry, Marcus, he said quietly. My mother is right. I can't marry a man from a family of scammers and frauds. Scammers? Shrieked Marcus. Yes, scammers, replied Brandon's mother firmly. You claim to be rich and successful, but you are broke. Completely broke. This wedding is cancelled permanently. And listen to me very carefully. We are not going to pay your debts for you. We will sue you legally for that $5,000 penalty. Here is the invoice. Enjoy dealing with it. She threw a paper with the invoice directly at Marcus's chest. Fell to the ground. Brandon and his mother got into their car and drove away quickly, leaving Marcus slumped on the sidewalk, holding the invoice in his shaking hands. Derek and Mrs. Gloria could only watch helplessly. They had hit absolute rock bottom. Evicted from their home. No car. No money. No relatives willing to help. And now being chased by a debt of $5,000. That night, they used the little bit of cash left in Derek's wallet. Maya's $20, which he still kept, plus some small crumpled bills, to take a ride share to the most humiliating place Derek could possibly imagine. A tiny cramped rental room in a narrow alley on the outskirts of the city. A place he had rented when he was a poor broke student before ever meeting Maya. The place was extremely cramped and tiny, stuffy and hot, smelled like sewage and garbage. There was only one small room, a dirty bathroom, and a tiny kitchen area. This was their new harsh reality. The next morning, Derek, with the remnants of his shattered dignity, tried to go to his office job. He took a crowded bus. He arrived at the lobby of his fancy office building. When he swiped his access card at the turnstile, it didn't move or open. Red light. Access denied. He called the HR department immediately. Mr. Derek. Yes. Sorry, sir. Due to company restructuring and a performance review, we have been forced to terminate your employment. Effective as of today. The termination letter will be sent to your email shortly. Restructuring. Derek knew it was a complete lie. This company was a partner of Maya's family business. A single phone call from Maya or her lawyer was enough to destroy his career completely. He returned to the rental room in the alley on foot. Walking in the middle of the hot day. Mrs. Gloria and Marcus were sitting on the floor staring into space. How is it? Asked Mrs. Gloria. Derek just shook his head. He threw himself on the thin, dirty mattress. Finished. Everything is finished. Mrs. Gloria didn't give up so easily. She didn't want to live like this. There was still one hope. Her jewelry. All the gold, diamonds, and bracelets she had collected over the years. She opened her designer purse. Taking them all out. We still have this. Can be sold, she sighed. Firmly. She left the alley looking for the nearest pawn shop in the area. She entered with the last remnants of her arrogance and pride. Sir, I want to pawn this, she said confidently. She placed a large diamond necklace on the counter. The shop owner took it carefully. He examined it closely. Then he scraped it on a testing stone. He dropped a chemical liquid on it. Then he laughed softly under his breath. Why are you laughing? Asked Mrs. Gloria, offended and insulted. The man looked at her with amusement in his eyes. Ma'am, this is fake. Good quality imitation, but definitely fake. Glass zirconia, not real diamond. Fake. Repeated Mrs. Gloria, completely incredulous. The man took her gold bracelet next. This too. Only the plating on the outside is gold. Inside is cheap brass metal. He checked all of Mrs. Gloria's jewelry pieces one by one. Nothing is real, ma'am. Everything is completely fake. Mrs. Gloria stood completely mute and speechless. She remembered that most of this jewelry had been bought by Derek as gifts. Bought with Maya's money. Had Derek been giving her fake things all this time? Or had Maya known and been giving her fake jewelry on purpose? All her pride and vanity had been built on falsehood and lies. The shop owner looked at her with pity mixed with amusement. If you want to sell it by weight at the flea market, the most you'll get is $50 total, ma'am.
Maybe.
Mrs. Gloria felt her legs weaken beneath her. She was being mocked by the owner of a pawn shop in a narrow, dirty alley. This was karma. This was the end of absolutely everything she had built. 1 full week had passed since the storm began. 1 week since Maya froze all the accounts, stopped all transfers, and sent that donation receipt that shook her husband's entire family to their core. Inside the special ICU room, time ran completely differently. Maya no longer thought about them at all. Her phone was now clean and peaceful. She had changed her number completely. She gave it only to Mr. Hamilton and a few close relatives of her mother. Her concentration was 100% focused on the woman lying in the hospital bed. Every single morning, she read prayers next to her mama's ear. Every afternoon she told her mama good things and happy memories, as if her mama could hear every word. She told her about the $15,000 donation in detail. "Mama," she whispered one quiet afternoon while gently wiping her mama's thin arm with a warm wet towel. "Maya donated the money in your name to the Bright Hope Children's Foundation. Just exactly like you always wanted to do. There are 10 children who can now get their treatment thanks to you. Everyone is praying for you, Mama. They say get well soon, Mama Rose. You have to wake up. You have to hear all their prayers." She said it over and over every single day like a mantra and a promise. She was planting seeds of hope. Not only for her mama but also for herself. And that morning something truly miraculous happened. While Maya was reading her prayers out loud, she felt the grip of her hand being squeezed back. Weak but definitely perceptible and real. Maya stopped reading immediately. Her eyes fixed on her mama's fingers moving slowly but deliberately. Then Mama Rose's eyelids fluttered gently. Very slowly those tired eyes opened. Her gaze was blurry at first, searching to focus. "Mama," Maya's voice trembled with emotion. Mama Rose's eyes finally settled and focused on her daughter's face. She couldn't speak because of the breathing tube still in her throat, but a single tear slid slowly from the corner of her eye. Maya wept, not tears of pain like last week, but tears of pure joy and happiness that burst out uncontrollably. She immediately pressed the nurse call button hard. The doctor on duty and several nurses rushed into the room quickly. They checked all the monitors, pupils, and her mama's responses. The chief doctor treating Mama Rose arrived shortly after. After an intensive detailed exam, he left the room and met Maya in the hallway with a smile of relief. "This is truly a miracle, Miss Maya," said the doctor. His voice was full of wonder. "Honestly, we were quite pessimistic about her chances. But somehow about 5 days ago, her vital signs improved drastically and dramatically. Her brain response increased significantly. Her body decided to fight back. And today she has woken up. Miss Rose's fighting spirit is absolutely extraordinary." Maya smiled behind her tears. 5 days ago, just after she had told her mama about the donation. "It's because of the prayers, doctor. The children's prayers," whispered Maya softly. Mama Rose's recovery was faster than anyone expected. In a few short days they removed the breathing tube completely. She was transferred to a comfortable private room. Maya took care of her mama diligently and lovingly. She fed her warm porridge, helped her learn to speak again, and told her everything that had happened, except Derek's betrayal. She only said gently, "Mama, Maya is processing a separation with Derek. Just doesn't work anymore. Our marriage is over. Please pray for Maya." Mama Rose, still weak but with a sharp knowing gaze, just nodded slowly and stroked her daughter's head tenderly. She understood much more than Maya thought she did. While caring for her mama, Maya was also taking care of her freedom and future. Mr. Hamilton came to the hospital with a thick, important folder. "Everything is in perfect order, Miss Maya," he said in the quiet hospital lobby. "The house already has the highest offer. Well above market price. And I must tell you," he leaned in closer, "they are in complete panic, ma'am. I heard from a reliable informant. They are now living in a rental room in an alley on the outskirts of town. Derek was fired from his job. And lastly, they are being sued by Marcus's ex-fiancée's family for that venue cancellation penalty of $5,000. Maya listened to everything very calmly. There was no pity in her heart. No excessive satisfaction either. Just a feeling of deep relief. As if a heavy burden had finally been lifted and released. And this, Mr. Hamilton offered her a paper and a pen. "The divorce petition. I have already included all the demands. Spousal abandonment, especially during the mother's critical illness. And moral and material damages. Sign here, please." Maya took the pen firmly. She remembered her wedding day so clearly. She remembered her promise to be a good, obedient wife. She thought obedience meant swallowing all bitterness and pain. She was so wrong. She took a deep breath. Then she stamped her signature firmly without the slightest doubt or hesitation. It wasn't just a signature on a divorce document. It was a signature on her Declaration of Independence. Her freedom. 2 weeks later, Mama Rose was discharged from the hospital. She still needed to use a wheelchair temporarily. But her spirit and strength had completely returned. Maya pushed her mama's wheelchair down the hospital hallway, which now felt friendly and welcoming. They laughed together, planning what delicious food they would cook when they got to their new home. Maya's new house. Smaller but cozy and warm. That Mr. Hamilton had prepared for them. As they approached the main lobby, Maya's steps stopped suddenly. A man was there blocking their path forward. The man was dirty and disheveled. His hair was long and unkempt. His face was dull and lifeless with messy stubble. His clothes, which were once expensive and designer, now looked worn and loose on his thin, bony body. It was Derek. He looked at Maya with red, desperate eyes. "Maya," his voice was rough and broken. Mama Rose in the wheelchair grabbed her daughter's arm tightly. She recognized the man who never showed up when she was dying. Derek didn't care about the people staring in the busy lobby. He didn't care about the security guards approaching cautiously. He advanced a few steps forward. Then he dropped to his knees. He fell onto the freshly mopped floor right at Maya's feet. "Maya, forgive me," he shouted loudly. His voice broke into a pathetic cry. "I was wrong about everything. I was blind and stupid. Beg you, Maya. Please forgive me." People stopped walking. They all watched the scene. "I've lost everything, Maya," he sobbed desperately. He tried to reach the hem of Maya's dress. "Got fired. The house was taken. Car seized. We live in a terrible, smelly place. My mother and Marcus are suffering. I am suffering every day. Beg you, Maya. Please. Withdraw the divorce petition. Let's start over fresh. Promise. I promise to be a good husband. I will wash your feet every single day. Beg you, Maya. Please." Maya looked down at the man crying at her feet. The man she once loved with all her heart. The man she served faithfully. The man she gave everything to. Now he looked so small, so pathetic, so completely despicable. There was no anger in Maya's heart anymore. No hate. Just a complete void. An emptiness. It felt like she was looking at a total stranger. "Maya, honey, please." Derek looked up at her. His face was full of desperate hope. Maya looked directly into Derek's eyes for the last time. She pulled her foot back slowly and deliberately. Her face was calm and peaceful, hidden beneath her neat head wrap. Then she spoke. Her voice was low but clear and ice-cold. It was heard clearly in the now silent lobby. "Excuse me," Maya said simply. Derek's face lit up immediately with hope. He thought it was forgiveness. "Yes, Maya. Do you forgive me? Do you accept me back?" Maya shook her head slowly but firmly. "No," she said. She leaned in a little closer. looking at her technically still husband for the very last time. "Excuse me, but who are you? I don't know you." Derek froze completely. Those words, sharper than any knife, colder than ice, hit him with full devastating force. Maya didn't wait for any answer or response. She straightened up. "Let's go, Mama," she told her mother with a soft, gentle voice. "Our driver is waiting outside for us." She pushed her mama's wheelchair forward, turning to pass by Derek's motionless body still kneeling on the floor. She walked straight toward the automatic exit door, toward the bright sunlight outside. She didn't look back even once, leaving Derek completely alone in the lobby, a spectacle for everyone, drowning in his own humiliation and regret. 6 months later, Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. The atmosphere was busy and crowded with travelers. Among the crowd, Maya came out of the international arrivals gate, pushing her mama sitting comfortably in a wheelchair. Mama Rose didn't actually need it anymore, but the wheelchair was provided by the airline for her comfort. Mama Rose looked healthy, fresh, and extremely happy. Her face was radiant and glowing. Her cheeks had regained their fullness. She held a beautiful bouquet of tulips she had bought in Amsterdam. Maya, for her part, looked like a completely new person. Her head wrap was styled in a modern and elegant way. She wore an expensive cream-colored pantsuit. Her face glowed with confidence. Her smile expanded as she talked to her mama. "How wonderful and amazing, Mama. The trip to Vienna and Istanbul was absolutely incredible." "Right," said Maya while pushing her luggage cart. "Incredible, daughter," replied Mama Rose, laughing softly. "Much more beautiful than just going to Hawaii, right?" She looked at her daughter teasingly. Both laughed together. That was the vacation Mrs. Gloria had demanded. Maya made it happen. But for her mama instead. In a much more luxurious way. "After this, Mama goes straight home to rest," said Maya. "Maya has to go to the office for just a moment. There's an important shareholders meeting." Since her divorce was finalized, she had recovered everything. Derek didn't receive a single dollar. Maya took back the company her father had left, which her mama had been managing remotely. With her financial intelligence and her new firmness, she turned the company situation around in just 6 months. Now she was the respected CEO. On the other side of town, in a small cramped rental room, in a narrow and suffocating alley, the door with peeling paint opened. A scream was heard. "You've been on that phone all morning, useless. Help me sew this. The customer's order is waiting." It was Mrs. Gloria's voice. She looked 10 years older. Her hair, which used to be always perfectly styled, was now thin and tied up carelessly. She was sitting on the floor, surrounded by piles of fabric scraps, busy in front of an old sewing machine. Now she was a seamstress doing alterations for neighbors. They paid her $5 per piece. Marcus, who looked equally disheveled, threw his phone on the mattress. "What is it, Mama? I'm trying to do a live stream to sell stuff. But nobody is watching me at all," he yelled, frustrated. "All this is your fault, Mama. Your greed. If you had been nice to Maya, our life wouldn't be like this nightmare. How dare you blame me?" Mrs. Gloria stood up. Her eyes were bloodshot red. "It's all your fault, spoiled brat. Asking for that lavish birthday party. And because of your brother Derek. That coward. He hasn't sent money in a month. Who knows where he is now?" "He doesn't send money because he doesn't have any," shrieked Marcus. "Do you think a day laborer earns much? Enough to feed himself and that's it. You are all the same. Useless children." Mrs. Gloria threw a deflated pillow at Marcus. Both got involved in a loud fight, pulling hair and cursing each other, fighting over whose turn it was to eat the last packet of instant noodles in their dirty kitchen. They were trapped in a cycle of poverty and mutual blame. Meanwhile, at a muddy loading dock smelling strongly of fish, the sun had just risen. But a man was already soaked in sweat. He was thin. His skin was sunburnt and dark. His torn t-shirt stuck to his back, which now showed his ribs. It was Derek. He was struggling to push a hand truck full of rice sacks weighing hundreds of pounds. "Hey Derek, faster. Don't stand there staring into space," shouted a foreman from the other side. Derek, completely out of breath, nodded reluctantly. He pushed the hand truck with the last of his strength, taking it to the edge of the road where a truck would pick it up. While waiting for the truck, he stopped for a moment. He wiped the sweat from his forehead with his dirty sleeve. His tired eyes looked across the street. There on top of a tall building, a giant video screen was broadcasting a morning awards show live. The award and recognition for Young Philanthropist of the Year goes to. The camera focused on a woman walking up to the stage. An elegant woman with a cream-colored head wrap, smiling radiantly, accepting a crystal trophy. It was Maya. Below the screen read, "Maya, daughter of Robert, honored for her dedication to social programs through the Bright Hope Children's Foundation." Derek froze completely. His heart felt squeezed and crushed. The hand truck in front of him felt heavier than ever. He looked at Maya's face on the giant screen. The face he had wasted. The face he had taken for granted. A face that was now so bright, so happy, and so far out of his reach forever. He was a dirty day laborer. And that woman was a shining star. Just at that moment, a gleaming metallic black luxury car stopped at the traffic light right next to Derek. The car windows were tinted completely dark. Derek couldn't see inside at all. Inside the car, Maya had just hung up the phone with her mama. "Yes, Mama. Maya is already on the way to the office. Rest, please. I'll see you tonight." She put down the phone. She looked out the window casually. She looked toward the loading dock, toward the crowd of workers, toward the laborers working hard. She didn't see Derek specifically at all. She just saw an everyday normal scene. Then she smiled softly, a smile of deep satisfaction, not from seeing anyone suffering, but because she was grateful for her life now. She had weathered the terrible storm and found her beautiful rainbow. The light turned green. The luxury car glided smoothly over the asphalt, turning sharply to move away from the loading dock, taking her toward the tall skyscrapers where her office was located. On the sidewalk, Derek remained motionless, staring at the video screen. The loud horn of the truck behind him woke him up. "Hey, move it. You're blocking the way," yelled the driver. Derek startled. He lowered his head deeply, hiding his face full of sweat and tears of regret. He grabbed the handle of his hand truck again, and with the little strength he had left, he pushed his karma forward, under the burning morning sun. Did you like the story? And which city are you listening from? Let's meet in the comments. If you like the story, you can support me by sending a super thanks so I can keep bringing more stories like this. Thank you so much for your sweet support. I'm looking forward to your comments on the story. On the screen you can see 2 new life stories that I highly recommend. There's so much more on my channel. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next life story. With love and respect from Auntie's Stories.